Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday night Zoom call. My name is Sarah Kroger. I am so excited to see so many of you here tonight. We have quite a group with us tonight, and I want to kind of explain a little bit who I am for those of you who are new. Like I said, my name is Sarah Kroger. I'm one of the coaches on our team, and our team is blessed to be running several different challenge groups. So from time to time, you might see somebody that you don't recognize speaking on the call because they're a coach from a group that's different from yours. And most of the groups are the same. It's just we were blessed with such an amazing team that we had to break them apart so they didn't get too big. And then I want to welcome, we're doing a new challenger group that's starting. I guess we're officially kicking it off tonight, even though we start prep tomorrow. So I see some people who I know are here from our new challenger group, and I wanted to welcome you. This is just a great opportunity for us to kind of get our heads in the game a little bit before our week starts and make sure that we just get our heads wrapped around what's coming and what we need to do during the week so that we can set ourselves up for success. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about basically starting well so you can finish well. And so whether you are a brand new challenger or whether you have been doing this for a while, everyone is entering into the final quarter of 2019. And so it's kind of a new chapter regardless of where you are with your health and fitness. So personally, I did day 69 of a 100-day program today. And it's called MeltCon, and it's arguably like the hardest one of the entire series. But I'm still tired from my workout this morning before church. So one could say, well, you're not at the beginning of anything. But you know what? You start this time of year to get a little reflective about how your year has gone. And it also feels like a new beginning because we're getting geared into like the holiday season and those kinds of stuff. And so I wanted to talk a lot about just how to start well so you can finish well. Sorry, my daughter's coming home from youth group, and the person who was bringing her just asked me if someone else could bring her. I'm like, why do I have a child old enough to be somewhere that I'm not is beyond me. But that's a whole different conversation. Anyway, starting well so we can finish well and being a little bit reflective on where we've come over the year. So I want to take you back in time just for a second, back to January of 2019, when you had huge goals for everything that you were going to accomplish and who you were going to become this year. Allow yourself to think, like, what did I think 2019 was going to be like? What was I going to accomplish? Like, I was finally going to clean my bedroom and become a person who made my bed every day, right? And I was going to, do X, Y, and Z for my health and fitness, and I was going to do X, Y, and Z in my marriage, and I was going to be this kind of mom, and I was going to have a beautiful garden this year, and all the things that I planned to accomplish in 2019. What did you say you wanted 2019 to be like? What were your goals? What was your word for the year? What did you want to be? What kind of person did you want to become in that time? Who were you thinking you would show up as in December of 2019? Way back at the beginning of January, who did you think you'd be showing up as at the end of the year? And so I want to tell you that it's not too late. If you've done some of those things, that's great. But most of us abandoned our New Year's resolutions around February 17th. That's just the average time that people last in their resolutions. And so for a lot of us, we got to this point and we have not done what we thought we were going to be able to do. But the good news is the year isn't over and it's not too late. And I wanted to get your mind shifted in that direction, because the difference between what happens now and all of those lofty goals in January is that now we're doing the work. Because there's a difference there, like buying the book and reading the book are not the same thing. And joining a group is not the same as doing the workouts and the meal plan. And writing your affirmations one time is not the same as saying them out loud daily. Because you still have to do the work to get the results. And like I said, just buying the community, when you guys come on in, make sure that you mute yourself. I'm trying to mute and talk at the same time, and then I get thrown off. I lose my place in my notes. So if you can mute yourself when you come in, that's great. I was gonna sing too. Oh well, the moment passed. No, I'm kidding, Kelly. I wasn't really gonna sing. Anyway, you get to decide who you want to be and who you want to show up as. And what we do as a community is help you with the work of being that. So you have to get really clear on who it is that you want to be and start showing up as that person right now. So who do you want to be? So for me, when I was writing who I wanted to be a peaceful mom. I wanted to be a tidy person. I wanted to be a healthy person. I wanted to be a joyful wife. I wanted to be generous. So now I have to stop and think, someone who is those things, what do they do? Well, the tidy person doesn't step over the mess on the floor. They pick it up. They might not clean the whole house right in that moment, but if there's something like if there's a box on the floor of something that a kid emptied and didn't throw away, you don't just step over it, I pick it up if I'm a tidy person. Clearly the evidence, belies my efforts if there's a box of something that a kid dropped on the floor still sitting over there. But that's how I have to start thinking. What does a tidy person do? What does a healthy person do? What are their behaviors? What are their habits? And I have to start thinking like that and showing up like that now. But that doesn't mean I have to be perfect. And I want to hit that off right from the beginning. There's no perfectionism here, because truly perfectionism is the lowest standard you could set for yourself, because it is unachievable. You cannot achieve perfection. So if you shoot for perfection, you are going to fail it. So you're letting yourself off the hook, basically, when you say it has to be perfect. And when I see that showing up, it's usually like people getting ready to get ready. I've got to get everything right in order. I have to have the perfect schedule and the perfect time to join a group and the perfect meal plan and the perfect calendar and the perfect everything. And they don't do anything until it's perfect. But let me ask you, who's better off? Who's better off? The person who does all of the prep and gets everything all set up and all the right water bottle and the right menu, and it looks pretty and it's color coded and it's right on the calendar, and you've got it here and you've got it here, and then everybody's informed and it's all perfect and everything's right, but hasn't done anything yet? Or the person who just does that one first thing and then they do the next thing, and then they kind of waffle a little bit with the third one and kind of have to renegotiate. They thought they were going to do this. And I don't want to get too wishy-washy about it, but who's better off? The person who takes no action but has a beautiful schedule hanging on their wall, or the person who has started and is making the effort? The person who goes ahead and fills their water bottle even though they've never watched their first 2B Mindset video yet, right? Who's the person who's better off? The person who watches all the videos before they make any changes, or the person who starts? Well, the person who starts. Part of the idea here of preparing well is that you do need to think about what you want. You do need to think about where you want to go, and you do need to set the tools in place and actually use them. So if you're on this call tonight, you made an actual monetary investment to be part of a challenge group. Everybody isn't working on the same things, and that's the beauty of it. Some people are more focused on their nutrition. Some people are adding in workouts. Some people aren't ready to work out yet. We have somebody who's recovering from surgery, so she's on pause from her workouts. We're all got different things going on, but everybody made a monetary investment to be part of this. You said, this is important to me. I want to change, and this is the tool I'm going to use to get that change. And so what you need to do in order to be successful is get really clear on who you want to be and why that is important to you. Otherwise, it's a book you bought and never read. Otherwise, it's something you said you wanted to do, but you never started. You are never going to be able to do a push-up on your toes if you never do a push-up on your toes. You're never going to understand whatever topic if you never read and learn about it? Just buying the book on chemistry doesn't teach you chemistry, right? So we actually have to do the work. But I want you to avoid that mindset of perfectionism that I have to understand it all before I can do anything. Ask me why I'm harping on that, says the person with the pretty schedule, right? Okay, it is something that I have struggled with, but I see it time and time again where we halt ourselves because we can't do it perfectly. So think about who was that person that you said you wanted to be, and what does that person do? So you set this as your intention for each day. You write and you repeat your affirmations as this person. I am this person. Because I am a generous person, I fill in the blank. Because I am a tidy person, I fill in the blank. Because I am a healthy person, I printed off my Morning Meltdown 100 calendar and hung it on my wall. Because I am a healthy person, I filled 3 water bottles to take with me to work. Now, you don't have to fill 3 water bottles, but I have some people that I work with who that's their checks and balances. So they don't have to remember how many times they filled 1 water bottle. They fill all their water bottles in the morning. And so they're there and they know they have to get through that. Because I'm a healthy person, think of the habits, think of the behaviors, think of the mindset. Because I'm a healthy person, I don't order soda with my drive-through meal anymore. It doesn't have to be a perfect meal, but you can make that one change. And then you need to seek out and be grateful for the glimpses of that person. Because that person is going to start showing up in your life. That person you said you wanted to be, she's starting to show up. But if you're not seeking her, your brain is going to go right back to all of the old behaviors. And that's what you're going to see. I said I wanted to be a peaceful mom, but I yelled at my kids. But you missed the 8,000 other peaceful things that you said because you weren't looking for her. You said you want to be her. Now you're looking for her. You are becoming, you know how like a kid can't find their shoes, but they can find like the tiniest little bit of mushroom in their casserole? You've got to be that. You've got to find that tiny little nugget instead of this loud voice that says you've never changed. You need to find that tiny little nugget of that person you said you wanted to be and shine a big old light on her. Because guess what? Then she shows up in a bigger way and a bigger way and a bigger way because she's there because you have set that intention. So I don't care if your house is a mess. If you stepped over a dirty towel and then turned right around and picked it up, you just showed up as that person. You just showed up as her. If you filled your water bottle one more time than you normally do, you just showed up as that person. And you need to highlight that and find her and shine the light on her because she's there. And you cannot let, I had somebody recently tell me that negative voice in your head, the mean girl or the negative voice or whatever, that it's really your primal ego trying to protect you. Because when you do something new, it feels risky. It feels scary. It feels like, what if I fail? What if I don't do this well? And so that primal, like brainstem, caveman mindset that is part of you, it keeps you alive. It's good that you have it. It's trying to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to branch out and try something new. I don't know if you guys have kids. Have you ever seen The Croods? It's this caveman movie. It's really super cute, but the dad's like, they tried something new and they died. And so like that, that's what that makes me think of when I think of that primal brain of yours, that it's like, oh, you tried something new and you died. It's bad, but really, better. You know that turning around and picking up the dirty towel off the floor is not going to literally kill you. Your toddler might tell you otherwise. But you know that's not literally going to kill you, right? But your brain is trying to protect you. But you can look at it and you can say, look, I don't need you anymore. I'm good. This is a good thing. I don't need you to protect me anymore. I'm moving in a positive direction and this is a good thing. And call it out. because that ego, that primal brain is going to point out all the way. See, you can't do this. You just go back to your cave, roll the stone in front at night, and you'll all be safe. We'll be safe. Nothing good will ever happen. Nothing will ever change, and you'll never become a new person, but you'll be safe. Well, I don't know about you, but that sucks. That sucks. Why would you want to live like that? Who is it that has a positive influence on your life? Who is a speaker that you've heard, a friend that has poured into you, a book that you read, somebody whose podcast you listen to? If they ever gave you advice, what was it? Something that impacted your life. Do you live your life the way that that person who influenced you does? Because they're not sitting in a cave. They're not rolling the stone in front of them and playing it safe. They are out there showing up as the person they want to be. And we've talked a lot on our team recently about this concept of an imposter syndrome. And then I'm going to move on to some like nitty gritty stuff for you. So get your pencil ready. And we have this tendency to say, well, if I say that I'm this person and I still have these fears in the back of my head, then I'm a fraud. Because who I say I want to be is not who in my heart of hearts I feel like I am. Shut that up. Shut that up. Because all you're doing is growing and changing. You're not being a fraud. You're really showing up as that person. You might not perfectly be that person yet, but you really are. You really did turn around and pick up the towel off the floor. You really did. Now, you can't buy the book and not read it, because then you don't get anywhere, and it doesn't matter whether you're an imposter because you're not really making a change. But when you really are making changes, even if they're small ones, you really are making those changes. When you're telling yourself, because I'm a healthy person, I do this. Because I'm a happy person, I do this. Because I'm a good wife and a good mom and a good friend and a good at my fill in the blank job, I do this. Because I'm reliable, I do this. Because I'm tidy, I do this. Because I'm healthy, I do this. You really are doing those things. You're not overemphasizing anything. You're just really recognizing the fact, not your emotions that are tied to it. You're recognizing the fact, I really did show up as this. And you have to fight that perfectionism, and you have to shine a light on her whenever she shows up in whatever little way she shows up. Because the only way she's going to show up more, or you're going to notice that she shows up more, is when you start to notice the little ways that she shows up. So that was your food for thought. Now I want to talk to you about how to specifically show up as that person here. So by virtue of your investment to be in this group, you have said one person you want to show up in as December is healthier, stronger, thinner, more energy, positive mindset. Otherwise, you invested in the wrong thing. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that by investing in this, you want to be something on that list. Maybe all of those things. For me, I'd like to be all of those things. I'm always working on my mindset. And for the record, still having negative voices in your head does not mean you failed at developing a positive mindset. Because those don't go away. You're stuck with your brainstem. I'm sorry. It's not going anywhere, because without it, you can't live. You're stuck with it. It's going to keep trying to protect you. You just get better at recognizing it for what it is. I had a new idea as part of a training that I was doing this past week. I had a new idea on Friday. I was so fired up about it. I mean, I think I told the front door, because I was just telling everybody that I ran across. I was so excited about this idea. The negative voices in my head Friday night into Saturday morning were so loud they woke me up from sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning. Because all I could think was, that was a dumb idea. Who is ever going to want that? Who is ever going to want to be part of that? It literally woke me up. Friends, I have 6 kids and one of them is a baby. I sleep. I'm tired, you guys. and it woke me up in the middle of the night. The voices don't stop. You just get better at recognizing them, and you put tools in your path and people in your path who can help you reframe it and point it out as a lie. So I want to tell you, you're not getting rid of your brainstem. You're not getting rid of that little voice. You're just getting smarter than it, and you're getting to the point where you can pull rank on it and shut it down and replace it with the positive and the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation that I was fretting about overnight is really, the fact is I have no idea if anybody would want what I was thinking of because I've never offered it. And I'm not going to go into all that, but my point is the reality. It's not anything I've ever done. I have no idea how it will go over. But I have a pretty good idea because I'm smart. And I got good stuff to offer. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I've learned to, I've not gotten rid of the voices, but I've learned to pull them apart for what they are. So here's some of my nitty gritty 4 things that you can do to start well. None of them are rocket science. But there are 4 things that if you do these 4 things, you will start well. If you start well, you will finish well. So the first one we talked about a little bit, set your goals. You have to. And just all of us coaches, we have coaches too. And my coach asked me, I'm like, for 2 years, what are your goals, Sarah? And I'm like, I don't know what my goals are. Guess how much I achieved in that amount of time? I hit every goal. You know how many goals I set? You know how many I hit? Set your goals. Your goals are what program you're doing, nutrition, meal plan. Those are what program you're going to do. Set your water goal. Your coach can help you with how to do that. Set your personal development goal. What are you going to read or listen to every day? Every day. I just finished my one devotional and I started another one today. So I'm reading a book called Famous in Heaven and at Home. I read the first part. I've read the first page of it today. And I'm also reading a book called The Compound Effect. So those are the 2 books that I'm reading right now. I also listen to podcasts when I'm milking my goats or when I'm in the shower. The danger of listening to podcasts in your shower is you have a really, really great idea and it's a little awkward to write it down. Just saying. But you have to have what you're going to read or listen to. If you don't have something to read or listen to, you are cutting your legs off at the knees. Again, ask me how I know. I'm telling you all the things that I didn't do that kept me from having success sooner, having results, having success, having a mindset shift. You have to be reading or listening to something every day. Not all day. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to read a whole book every day. 10 minutes. 10 minutes in the morning. Read something. Listen to something. Listen to something in the shower, while you're driving, while you're doing dishes, while you're milking goats. Maybe that's just me. Your goals, your Shakeology. Checking into your group. You get to define success, but you have to actually establish what your goal is. If you don't, you will never hit anything. You will bob along and you will get to the end of December and you go, well, that didn't work. Look at that. I failed again. Look at that. Failed again. But if you look at it and you say, you know what, I'm going to follow 2B Mindset and I'm going to watch one video every day. They're about 7 minutes long. That's going to be my personal development in the morning. There you go. You've conquered 2 of them. I weigh 200 pounds, so I'm going to have 100 ounces of water every day. Here's the water bottle I'm going to use. Set an alarm on your phone for when you need to refill it. Check in your group every single day. And I guarantee you, if you have a rough day, you're going to not want to check in your group because you don't want to post that you ate donuts in the staff lounge or after church. And so you don't post. But you know what? Then you don't encourage anybody else because you didn't go into the group. You didn't post, but you also didn't offer any encouragement to anybody else. And you didn't see somebody else who posted that they were having a rough day and you missed a chance to encourage them. You missed a chance to point out the win that they had that they didn't see because they were so focused on the fact that, guess what? They ate a donut after church. And you can say, dang it, I did too. What are we going to do tomorrow? And then tomorrow, you both post and you tag each other and you get to celebrate it. But because you let that lie of failure keep you from posting today, then you miss the opportunity to have the high five with that person tomorrow. There's value. There's a reason we run our groups this way, because the people who lean in to the groups have better results than the people who try to do it on their own. When we hide, it's like a haunted house. You hide in the shadows and everything's dark and scary. Coming into the group is turning the light on. That's something that you're going to hear us talk about a lot if you stick around for a while, because this concept of turning the light on in the haunted house happens all the time. Haunted houses aren't scary when the lights are on, when you can see everything. But when you withdraw and you hide, that's when it gets scary, and that's when the lies start to get really loud. Oh, everybody's in the group doing great. I'm the only one who had a donut today. No, you're not. You're not the only one. You might have been the only one who had a literal donut, but you're not the only one who had a donut today. You're not. You're not the only one who struggled. And there's power in that. There's power in overcoming in that. There's power in that community. You get to define your success. You get to pick what winning is, but you have to define it. You have to define it. Number 2, set up your cues. Do you know what that means? Your cues are the things that remind you of what you said you were going to do. Because we all get real excited. We're like, oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then if you don't look at your calendar, you forget all your appointments. You know what I mean? So you have to set up some cues. So for me, I use reminders on my phone a lot. So I have people that I wanted to pray for or things that I need to remember to do. Picking my daughter up from youth group is one of them. You know, I have an alarm on my phone that says, hey, go pick up your kid. Because it's our first year of doing the junior high school youth group, and it's a new thing for us. You need to set up your cues. You need to write things on your calendar. You need to print off your workout calendar, or print off, if you're not doing a workout yet because you're focusing on Ultimate Portion Fix or the 2B Mindset, there is a checklist that we have for you guys in the group of how to go through 2B Mindset and how to go through that nutrition program. Print it off, hang it up. My Morning Meltdown 100 calendar is hanging on the wall in my living room. And no, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing decor, but I don't care. It shrinks my booty and makes my arms strong. I don't care if there's a poster hanging up on my wall. It's not gonna ruin the look of my entire house. Frankly, this is more a culprit of ruining the entire look of my house than the poster that's on my wall. Just saying. Maybe that's a different call too. But anyway, if you don't have that in your group, our team has it. If you want a checklist, we can get you a checklist. Do not spend time making a checklist. That wheel has already been invented. We will do it and we will send it to you because it already existed. It already exists. So use a planner. Write down what days you're going to work out. If you're following a program, it tells you how to work out. But here's the baby step. Here's the fighting perfectionism. If your program says that you need to work out 5 days a week and you feel like you can only manage 3 right now, then pick your 3 days and do them and move on. And maybe a couple weeks in, we'll add a 4th day. I guarantee you, if you're like, I'm never gonna miss a day, you're setting yourself up for failure. And we're heading into like cold and flu season. Someone at your house is gonna get sick at some point and you're gonna miss something. And the world will not stop spinning, and we will regroup, and you will keep moving, and you will keep getting results, okay? So print off your calendar, decide, if you're following your calendar and your intention is to do all 5 days as written, great. Make that your intention. Find your shoes. I know because it's home workout, not everybody wears shoes, and that's okay. For me, it depends. When I'm weightlifting, I don't have to wear shoes, but if I'm jumping up and down, I have to wear shoes or else my feet hurt. You know, find your shoes. Because especially if you work outside your home, or if you're trying to get your kids going somewhere or whatever, and you are pressed for time, The devil will hide your shoes and you'll be like, oh, I guess can't work out. Stepped on a piece of pretzel. Wait until your kids have Legos. Step on a Lego in the middle of a workout. Set some reminders on your phone. I said that one already, but you have a smartphone. You don't even have to push any buttons. Frankly, your phone probably doesn't have any buttons anymore. You can just say, hey Siri, set a reminder for this, and it will happen. Okay? Turn on your notifications for the group. So you'll see when your coach posts something, or you'll see when somebody posts something and you can encourage them. Do not, your phone just heard me. That's hilarious. Do not feel like you need to be in the group all day long. So if the notifications become too much of a distraction, then set a reminder on your phone for when to check into your group. And you can set a timer. Set a timer for 10 minutes and say, I'm going to go into the group for 10 minutes. Set my timer. Hey Siri, set a timer. You know, like go do it again. Set a timer so that you don't waste time because you have a life to live. But you committed to this, so you need to do it. And someone else in the group needs your encouragement. And encourage your coach. Do me a favor, when your coach posts, give them a little bit of love on their post, because we're people too, and we have hard days, and we post, and it's nice to get a little woohoo. Just saying. Maybe it's just me. But it's kind of like tip the bartender. Encourage your coach. They need a little bit of love too. Okay, number 3. Tell someone. You've set your goals. You've set up your cues. Number 3, tell someone. Tell someone that you don't want to have to look in the eyes and say, I quit. Now, chances are the person that you said that to isn't going to suddenly hate you. So it would be a safe person to share your thoughts with, but make it somebody that you, not necessarily somebody that you want to impress, but somebody that you would feel bad for disappointing. And that's hard. It's always good to tell your coach, it's good to tag a buddy, but it's good to tell somebody outside the group too, especially if you're going to make some changes and it might impact the people who live with you. Telling them what you're doing and why you're doing it. And you can invite them to join you, but you can also tell them, like, look, you don't have to do this, but this is what I'm doing. But I had to tell my husband he wasn't allowed to keep his soda in the house anymore, because he would leave for work and I would drink his soda. All right. I can't find it. There we go. Found it. All right. Sorry, I couldn't find out who it was. So I had to tell him, look, I'm not telling you can't drink soda. But he would buy soda on the weekend, and then he would go to work on Monday, and I had not gotten to the point of self-discipline where I could not drink it. Or I could just have a little bit and not drink the whole thing. And he'd come home, he'd be like, where's my soda? I'm like, I have gotten better about those kinds of things. But there are still some things that I just can't have in the house. But you know what? Nobody in my family really needs to have them. So it's okay. But you might have to have that hard conversation. But let's go back to that person that you said you wanted to show up as. That person that you said you wanted to be and how they behave. You don't have to be a jerk about it. But it's okay to say, this is what I'm doing and I want you to know. For accountability. I think my daughter's done. Hey, Ben, can you get her, please? Sorry. It's real exciting in the Kruger household. Dizzy. Anyway, tell somebody. And then in your group, pick a, oh, for Pete's sake, pick a buddy. Pick a buddy in your group that you're going to tag in your group. Somebody that, it can be your coach, but it's really good for it to be somebody, just somebody else in your group. Somebody who's doing the same program as you, somebody who you connect with, who you feel like has the same struggle, that you start to see some of the same habits in the posts, and just tag each other. Just tag each other when you do your workout. It makes it a little more fun. It makes it a little more light. Then their notification goes off again and they're reminded to share and check in, and that's good. And then number 4, this is the last one. You got to commit. You've got to commit. Don't try this. It drives me crazy because I can see the writing on the wall. Okay, I'll give it a try. No, commit. I'm going to use probably the unhealthiest example in a health and fitness group to illustrate this point, but it's a good point, so let's go with it. Let's say you are out and you offer a cigarette to somebody. And the first person you offer a cigarette to says, "Oh, no thanks, I'm trying to quit." And the other person that you offer a cigarette to says, "No thanks, I don't smoke anymore." Which person is more likely to have success in their goal of not smoking? Well, the person who says, "I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke." You have to commit. Don't try. You don't have to commit to perfection. You don't have to commit to being on your computer in the group all day long. That's not what we're asking. We're asking you to commit to this process. I'm doing 2B mindset. I'm committing to tracking my food every day. Does that mean if I miss a day that I have a complete and total failure? No, it just means I missed a day. I'm going to pick myself back up, track again tomorrow. But you need to have that mentality. You need to talk like the person that you said you want to be. You need to talk like that person. I am this person. This is what I do. And you can come up with a whole list of what you don't do, but sometimes that gets daunting. I have some things that I choose not to eat because they don't fuel my body well. I have some autoimmune diseases that I fight inflammation pretty significantly to the point that my weight can fluctuate 5 to 7 pounds based on inflammation. And so I've identified through tracking some things that are huge culprits for me. And so I don't remember where I was going with that. Sorry, guys. Let me regain my thought for just a second. It was going to be good, too. I think I was just saying that it was like choosing not to eat those things. Oh, I know what it was. Thanks, God. I don't eat those things because they don't serve me. I choose not to eat those things because they don't fuel me. But when I was at the beginning of that, this laundry list of things that I couldn't eat, which let's face it, was not that many things. It was just things that I really wanted to eat. It felt defeating. It felt like deprivation. Very dramatic. I have a very melodramatic brainstem. But it felt like deprivation. But when I shifted, and instead of finding all of the substitutes or finding how much I could get away with, when I shifted to focusing on the things that made me feel really good, it made a whole huge difference in my journey. So when you're at the beginning of this, if you start to feel like, I can't do this, 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 sometimes it helps to write a literal list. Here are the things that I can do. Here are the things that make me feel good. Here are the things that make me feel proud of myself. Here are the things that make me feel accomplished. Because all of this should be filtered through this umbrella of your vision for your life. And I'm not even kidding. When I sit down and I make my goals and I talk about my health and fitness goals, they are through the glass of my vision for my life. What do I want my children's lives to be like? Because guess what? I can't teach my children that they're worth it if I don't believe that I'm worth it. I can't teach my children that their body is a temple and they need to fuel it so that they feel good into their 90s if I'm not doing that. I don't have to do it perfectly. And guess what? I had a donut after church this morning. And you know what? It wasn't a mistake either. That's the beauty of this. I made a choice. I had a donut. It was awesome. And now we move on. Right? It wasn't a failure. I'm not hiding. I enjoyed every single crumb of it. It was really good. Licked my fingers too. But my point is, I have to do this work. The reason this is important is because under the umbrella for my vision for my life and the legacy of my family and the culture in my home, here are the things that I do to feel good so that I can pick up my grandchildren and I'm not in so much pain in my 70s that I can't even pick up my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? My oldest is 12, by the way. I want to feel good for a long time. So I really want you to spend some time reflecting on that, who you want to be, how you can show up as that person right now, how you can shine a light on that person when they start showing up, even in little ways, and seriously high five yourself for showing up as that person right away without having to go through a ton of prep, without having to perfect all of these habits, without having to get rid of everything bad in your life. If you've not watched the first day of 2B Mindset, guess what? Eat some vegetables, drink more water. There you go. There's what you can do tomorrow. Then you watch video number 1 and you learn something new. And you watch video number 2 and you learn something new. You can't do push-ups on your hands, do them on your knees. You can't go down very far, go down a little farther the next day. Try one more on your feet before you go to your knees. You get a little bit better every day. You don't have to perfect the system in order to do anything. Like Megan said in the comment, what if you don't show up now, what is life going to be like in the next 5 years or 10 years or 15 years? Because I'm telling you, what you don't want to have happen is a great motivator too. So that's all I got for you. I know that was a lot and I tend to get a little excited and a little intense, but it's because of how badly I want this for you. It's because of how dramatically every single corner of my life has changed by being part of this community. Every corner of my life has changed because of this community. And that's what I want for you, because you thought you were signing up to lose a little bit of weight. Truth is, we're going to shift your entire life. But that's a good thing, because then you're not just losing weight, you're achieving optimal health. And you're passing that on to your family, and it seeps out into your friends. And then you have this light that other people are attracted to because you're actually happy. And you're actually doing what you said you wanted to do, and that's an amazing thing. So, for those of you who are new here, we always close in prayer. So that's kind of part of the culture of our team. And I want to invite you, as we pray, to be thinking about what you want to show up as tomorrow. And it's kind of late, so I don't know about you. I go to bed early because I mentioned I have lots of kids and one of them's a baby and I'm very tired. But even before you go to bed, what could you do as that person tonight before you go to bed? What cues could you set out for yourself for tomorrow? Something that you can see to remind you of the intention you went to bed with tonight. What is it that you could, what's something simple? Setting out your shoes, setting out your water bottle, opening up your calendar, putting a couple of reminders on your phone, setting out whatever book you want to read in the morning so you don't have to find it. Because I kid you not, the devil will hide your shoes. Yeah, pick what personal development you want to do. Put it on reserve at the library. Whatever it is, what can you do tonight to set yourself up as that person? Make it a little bit easier to show up as that person tomorrow. So let's pray. Lord, thank you so much for this tribe, this opportunity to speak to these ladies tonight. Thank you for opening their hearts to hear your whisperings of who it was that you imagined they would be when you loved them into being. Remind them that they were created for such a time as this, that this is not an accident. This time, this place, this friendship, this family, none of it was accidental. Remind us in our fearful and doubtful moments when that negative voice sneaks in and says, who did you think you were kidding when you thought you could take this on? Lord, to help them remember this conversation tonight, when that voice speaks up, help them to hear it as a lie and help them to quiet their minds to hear the truth that's being whispered to hear your voice coming into their hearts of who you envisioned they would be when you loved them into existence. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this opportunity to grow and to finish well and to be the person that we envisioned at the beginning of the year that we could be. Thank you that it's not too late to show up as that person now. Please bless our efforts this week. Multiply our sleep, multiply our efforts, multiply our intention. Give us peace. Give us clarity of purpose. And continue our excitement. Let us sleep tonight, but wake up excited for this new journey in life. Lord, you are good. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you, guys. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. I hope that you do get some wonderful sleep tonight. And I will see you guys in the groups and next Sunday night.